Welcome back, music lovers. West Coast Paul here on location in San Diego with my co-host, good buddy back in St. Louis, Izzy. What up, Izzy?
This broadcast is working out pretty well between the two studios. First time we tried this.
It sounds really good. I'm pleased. Again, I'm in the greenhouse, and for the listeners who might not have been around for New Year's Eve. This used to be an old Mary Jane grow house that I got my hands on, and it is soundproof. It's bulletproof, and for good reason.
Yeah, that's what they said. They said it's like 8 or 9 inches thick, acrylic.
It's insane. It costs a penny to ship, but setting it up's not that hard. They got done for me out here, and it's getting torn down after today's show and getting.
It's going to storage, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to store it out here somewhere because I'll be back.
Do we own it now, or is it still?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do own it?
Yeah, got it. Yeah, it's a styling thing, and it's not going to be. I don't think we'll ship it around when we do our other tour things. It's kind of. I sent it back to the Midwest so everybody could see it, and we do it, and then it's out here because when I'll spend quite a bit, shows or time out here now and then because this is where everybody's at. And, our family, other things, and I do love it out here, especially this time of year. But, on that note, as promised, I said during a segment, I'll bring this up here yet. It's, I'm going to call it the segment Bucket List. I don't know if anybody out there, most people do, maybe you don't, but a bucket list is any item that you want to do before you die. And they say, write it up, put it in a bucket. Some people used to just pull them out, but, I've had a lot of things in my life I've done that have been on the bucket list that have been fun, some things I didn't. What I thought about it is I had one, and they don't have to be complicated. They can be something simple. I had one that I did this weekend was simply go to see a show at San Diego Civic Center. They had a play that was there. The wife and I, we were down here. We went and saw it. And it's one that I've had on my list, believe it or not, for a long time. It's a great little venue, and we did it. And, it reminded me of some other fun bucket list things that I've had where I've kind of a conglomerate bucket list I've been lucky to do in my lifetime. One of them is, the front row events, if you could put it, in things like in plays, sporting events, and other things. I have been lucky in my lifetime to be sitting in some of the best seats on the planet. And in fact, in the last one I'll share this list were the best 3 seats I think you could ever have for a sporting event. And but the first one is, a long time ago at a play. Well, a long time ago, Lion King. I won tickets through somebody, and we were front row and center at the Pantages Theater in LA to the Lion King. These were the 2 seats you couldn't buy. You could only win them or be given to you, and it was unbelievable. Unlike everybody else, you get seats back in the other places. That's where the Tom Hanks and those who have the money for them can sit. And I say lucky enough to sit there and be there, and everybody's looking at me like, man, who's that badass? What the hell? We had a concierge service. People were waiting on us, and a limo showing up. I mean, it felt like the red carpet had rolled out when we went to this event, and that one was absolutely awesome. The play was nice. I mean, the Lion King was popular, but just being treated like the top 1/2 of 1/10 of 1%. And front row was pretty damn badass. I still, that one was a given. The other one, hockey. We talked sporting events. So one day in a business thing, I had somebody. They worked for a company that had hockey tickets that were about 4 rows back, directly in the center ice, right behind the home ice or their bench area. And got to sit there and watch a hockey game from there, and afterwards got signatures from half the players there from Anaheim when they were playing their Mighty Ducks. And going that day again were some of, if not the best seats in the house to watch a hockey game, see everybody, doing their thing. If you've never been to a hockey game, it may be the best live sporting event ever. You cannot fathom how fast these guys are when they do it. And watching them smash each other all the time, and you know, fights break out here and there, and what they do when they're on the ice, on ice skates, you know, fucking ice skates, and doing it was absolutely, it was priceless. I mean, you can't buy those tickets unless you're, you know, some movie star dude and getting there. The other one, football. Way back when the LA Rams, were the LA Rams before they moved back to St. Louis and became our hometown stuff, the St. Louis Rams, before they moved back, obviously, to LA again. The last year they were here, I had season tickets at the 45-yard line, upper deck in the front row, and seats 1 and 2. And going from a football perspective today, if you wanted those tickets, you know, they're $3,000 a game. And that season, the team was leaving. Nobody could care. And everybody was vacating. And we got season tickets in a spot that was insane. And I would show up in pregame, if they did home games, my friend and I, we would put yellow and blue paint on our face and show up as Rams diehards, and probably ended up on TV, you know, 200 times during that season, because the Rams weren't very good. But it was fun, and seeing a game from that kind of perspective, again, front row, right in the middle of the field. Football, you want to be upper deck or higher up. You get a better view than if you're down on the bottom deck. You got, you know, things that might be in your way, players or things. It's just so much easier to see. And that one was, you know, event 3 of my, I say, quadfecta. Quad 5? Yeah. No, that's 4, 5, cinco, whatever of things. That was 3, and that was incredible, and we had the whole season there to enjoy that. The 4th one was a couple of years ago. I got to sit in right behind home plate in Oakland. Nobody ever goes to an Oakland A's game. The baseball, they were bad. The stadium's terrible. You know, the neighborhood, it is, you know, it sits in an area. It's not like these new downtown stadiums. It's the last of the old football, baseball, bowl things they did. And the stadium is around forever. So we got tickets, and they were pretty cheap. And we were literally right behind home plate, 3rd row. They call them the dugout boxes or whatever. You walk down the tunnel, and we got to talk to a couple of players. While we're down sitting back there, we get to talk to the umpires, other players. If you're in New York, or you know the teams, or you know players, you knew there's Pete Alonso, and we got to shoot the shit with him while he's waiting to hit and do his stuff, and a couple of other guys. And my son was just going, it's a ticket nobody ever gets, and we got lucky to be able to get one. And they wait on you hand and foot, you know, free food, free booze, free this, free that. And you're just sitting there, you know, my son's pointing to the player, but that's Lindor. That's Lindor. And he heard him and turned around, and Lindor shook his hand and said, "Hey, how you doing?" I don't think he's washed his hand to this day. You know, the event was, the game was great. The team, the players, the umpires. I mean, we walked down the players' tunnel to get there. And so I'm going, you know, that was actually the final one thing of the bucket list, items of events I've been to where you are in what I say the best seat in the house. But the best one ever was when I was a lowly little peon employee at this one company. I got Employee of the Month. I guess I did something right. And they gave me and a couple other people from the branch I was in, we got invited to go sit in the company's corporate seats at Sacramento, which was Arco Arena when the Kings were there. And we were in Kings Reserved 1, 2, and 3. And they were special season tickets set up just for this company. And what they were is they were not permanent seats in this basketball arena. They literally had, you know, the seats up, and you got the baskets, and anybody that's seen a basketball floor, these 3 seats were put just outside the court, about 5 feet from where the basket is on the corner line, on the home team bench side, 3 fold-out chairs that were a folding chair was my seat and on the actual court. And I sat on the outside one, and some, great things. I mean, dude, the ball came to me. They knocked it out, and it came to me. And I remember I was hugging it. I didn't want to let it go. Like baseball, where you keep the souvenir, you do your thing, and the umpire, or the official, the referee on the court, he's going, "Come on, buddy, give it up. Come on, give it up." So I was like, "Oh man!" So I bounced it to him, and a couple of the players were laughing. It was pretty funny, and I'd had a couple of beers by then. You're sitting there, and the players are 5 feet from you if they're at the end line or the sideline doing their thing, and you're just 10 feet from the basket, and it was incredible watching these guys play from down there, realizing how big and how good, and getting to yell names at the opposing team. At halftime or during the break when they went to the locker room, I got to high five all 12 of the Kings players. They were right by me, and every one of them did their thing. And I'm going at 5 years old, sitting there, doing something that I don't know how many people do, but high fiving all those guys was tremendous. I mean, it was fun. I'm not a hero worshiper of sports guys, but I do appreciate people who racing sports, any enterprise. When you get to the top of it, what you've had to do to get there is amazing, and they were amazing, absolutely amazing. But I did learn, and in the second half, the ball came to me a couple of times, and the first time I got it, I didn't hang on to it, didn't did it. I got it, and I bounced it right back. And the referee, he was fun, and he was a smart ass, and he looked at me and goes, "Hey, you're learning, man. Good job." And and everybody was busting up. That part was just funny. And again, one more time it came to me, the game was over. We were done. The players went back in, got the high five. One of their players, Reggie Theus, at the time, he stopped to say, "Hey," shook my hand and talked to me for a minute. And I'm going, from the bucket list perspective, I say on mine, if all five, basically the best seats in the house and enjoying an event. And I go, I've been so thankful on that. It's one of those things that I'll never forget. And I am so glad that I was able to do those, because most people can't. Most people can't. And it's a little story I love to tell because it's so much fun. Izzy, and I know you've done some fun stuff where you've been up front and center, and you know what it's like to be there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people ask me, well, what's on your bucket list? I don't know. I've did so much shit, and it's like, and people ask me, oh, well, have you ever traveled outside the United States? I've been all over. I mean, well, what's your favorite spot? It just depends. I mean, Italy was really cool, but I've been to Australia, New Zealand, South America, South Africa. Like, I don't know. It's so many
things, and yet everybody should have a bucket list. When you're 10 years old, you know what? Put dreams down. It doesn't matter what it is. It's fun. You know what? It doesn't matter. Dream. I'm going to be president. It doesn't matter, if you get there, but just to put them down and have them is a, life lesson if you do it, because when you get to check one off, it's like, oh, hell yeah. And if you don't, that's okay. I was fortunate enough to, like I said, once to have jumped out of a perfectly good airplane in a tandem thing. I'll never be able to do it again. I'm up there too been around too long. They won't do it, but I did check it off. The one below it was to be able to do it single, a single jump. I'll never get there, and that's okay. But it was on my list, and people just, man, never hesitate. Put it down an adventure. I had one time go to a country concert. Cha-ching. I saw Depeche Mode one night because it was on a list to see in an alternative rock and what they did and back then. And cha-ching, and I did it. And you know what? They were pretty good. So, another one, I want to be behind the wheel of a certain race car someday. I don't know if I'll get there, but it's still on my list. And, Kill 'em Dead, man, you get that thing rolling, I'm going to be behind the wheel one time, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of stuff in the works coming up for the next 2 years, and, that's something that we plan on doing. So, I mean, you know, as always, I mean, we've always got something going on, and you know, the party don't stop. I mean, that's just how it is. But speaking of that, guys, we got to get right back into the music. It is pure adrenaline on Thursday night.
Hey, West Coast Paul out.